Good morning, race fans, and welcome to Today at the Races on this Stronach 5 Friday, Breeders' Cup Friday. I'm Tim Tulloch, joined by Callie Francois. Callie, the sun is shining. It's going to be a nice day.
It's going to be a great day. I'm a bit chilly right now. I have the gloves on that I galloped in this morning. But no, beautiful day that we're supposed to be having here at Laurel Park. The skies are pretty clear, and it was a beautiful morning this morning, so that's definitely going to be continuing.
No doubt about that. Good racing weather for horses. We've got a lot to get to today in Friday's show, so let's take care of some stuff right off the bat. Breeders' Cup money back special right here this weekend. Cash back up to $10 on every race at Del Mar on Breeders' Cup's days when your horses finish second or third. Go for details. Go to first.com. Bet/promotions. Breeders' Cup money back special this Friday, today, and tomorrow. We also have the Breeders' Cup wagering guide. You can pull that up, and you'll see some of our friends in there. Keith Fustel and Naomi Tucker. Naomi's out there at Del Mar, so she's hands-on, and you can download that at the First Bet app. And a lot of our in-house, our First Bet handicappers will be giving you some analysis there. So certainly check it out. And once you've checked all that out, go ahead and check out the free past performances that we are offering. Download that at XB TV. These are free, Callie. Just go there, get them. Figure it out. Take your time.
I've used it myself. It's a great easy way to get the information that you need to be taking advantage of everything First has to offer as far as your handicapping experience goes.
Certainly take a look at that again. Download that at xbtv.com. Today is Stronach 5 Friday, and this is what we have on tap for you for the Stronach 5. It's going to kick off right here at Laurel Park. Our race 7 is leg A. Leg B is Gulfstream Park, their race 8. Leg C, right back here at Laurel Park, our race 8. Leg D, Golden Gate Fields, their race 4. And leg E, Gulfstream Park, once again, their race 10. Gets kicked off about 3:50 this afternoon in our race 7 as a leg A. Well, we talked about the weather a little bit. It is a touch chilly, but the sun is shining, a little bit of a breeze. We are unfortunately off the turf today, but the track is fast. Temperature about 48, but it's going to go up in the lower mid-50s today and a little bit of a northeast wind.
Yeah, that a little bit of a wind. It's not going to be too bad. I mean, like you said, in the northeast wind, but right now it's definitely a very, very light breeze. As you can see out in the infield here at Laurel Park, the wind isn't really making that flag pick up too much. So I think again a nice day at racing here this afternoon.
It's certainly good weather for this first week of November. We're going to take it as long as the sun shines and the clouds stay clear, the skies stay clear. We are going to take it. Let's get going with race 1. Race 1 kicks off the early pick 5, and as always, a 50-cent minimum, 12% industry low takeout gets started here in race number 1. Race number 1 is for 3-year-olds and up, which is started for $25,000 or less, or never won 3. This is going 1 mile, the one-turn mile here at Laurel Park. We run to the second wire, and we're going to start with our top pick in this spot. Callie, that is the 6, Plowman, and we're going to take a look at his last race, October 10th, right here at Laurel Park, where he was part of it the whole way, but got down and dirty in the stretch to prevail.
Down and dirty indeed. And what I did like is that previous to what we're seeing is that, he teetered between stalking and leading the entire time throughout the race. So then he continued on with that, where he just gamely dug in these last couple of strides, especially right here, right past the 16th, where he really had to dig in, and he certainly did. And he's been doing that at least his last two starts, the last 3 out of 4 starts, aside from when he had it easy at Delaware, and I just think we're going to see that performance again today.
He's a 5-time winner. He's winner of 4 in a row, looking for 5 in a row this afternoon. His figures are going the right way. They're going in north. It's gotten better with every single start, including that most recent start, which was his lifetime best here at Laurel Park. To his inside is the 5, Inspector Frost. This one, Carol Cedeno for Kieran McGee. Steps up first time off the claim for Kieran. He hits about 21% off a life best effort in that last race.
Yeah, and he's the stats go with this horse. Over 20% in first after the claim, new trainer, winning last race, third after the layoff. And what I like is that it does give this horse a little bit of an edge. This horse has won going off of the lead before, if you notice back in October of last year back at Keeneland, but then he just is coming off of a win where he did have to come off of the pace and finished in a nice fashion, stepping it up a bit. This is the time to step this horse up.
For sure. 6-2 for myself in the opener, 6-5 for Callie as we move to race 2. Now, race 2 kicks off the early pick 4, and we have a really, really nice offer here today in the early pick 4. It is a $10 back on your bet for $10 or more. If you bet less than 10, you get that back, so you can extend a little bit. If you usually spend $24 or $26 or $36 on an early pick 4, you've got $10 to play with. Spread out a little bit more. Our friend Keith Fusel is not here today, but he did send in us a early pick 4 ticket because he is the master of the pick 4. And we're going to start. He goes 4 deep in race 2. Why not? This is an off the turf event. Will be contested at 1 1/8 on off the main track. He goes 3, 4, 8, and 10. His single comes in race 3, and he singles on the 4 in race 3. And that is me, Cleopatra, and I for Kieran McGee. Race 3, 2 there, 1 and the 4. Race 4, he goes really deep. Why not? This is a maiden 25 going a mile. 2, 3, 5, 8, 10, and 11. $24 ticket. You can play around with that. If you're worried about his single, you've got $10 extra to play with this afternoon, so make sure you get involved in the early pick 4 here at Laurel Park. Get started in race 2. Race 2 is a maiden 25 event for maiden 3, 4, 5-year-olds. This one comes off the turf and will be contested at 1 1/8 on the main track. And Callie, you have the 8 on top. That is Surfing for Claudio Gonzalez. Just got beat in a maiden special weight state bred race in his last. But that was in New Jersey. I think this is probably a lateral move to the maiden 25.
Absolutely a lateral move, I think, on this part. Just moving and coming in. And I'm just looking at this horse off of his dirt performances, and even though like you said, it wasn't a lateral move, he might have bounced from running so hard previously on that soft turf over at Monmouth, and then I go back to when he was on an off the turf event at Pimlico, and that was a sloppy sealed track. I don't think with the way that horse is, he didn't move correct. He didn't love it. He just didn't love the track. So I'm just giving him another shot. I think this is again, you talk about the lateral move, but Claudio Gonzalez has been 31% in this move from all of his Monmouth stock coming back here over to Laurel. 5 wins out of 16 goes at that.
Well, he's in pretty decent form. Last 2 of his 3 races, they're both on the turf. They were his lifetime bests. He's had 3 works since then. I go with the 4 Narmer for Graham Motion. Michael Sanchez, the red-hot riding Michael Sanchez, I might add, gets the call. This one drops from a maiden special weight to the maiden claiming a move. Graham Motion very, very good at. Hits at about 25%. Beaten favorite in his last race, but certainly getting some class relief with a work sense.
Yeah, I'm looking at the dam for this sort of situation, and she hasn't had any runner. She's had one other runner, and it's only been on the Tapeta and the turf, so I just have yet to see any kind of dirt performance from that side of the family, so to say. But I think, again, Graham Motion doing this move, he does it quite well. And again, I have the horse in third. I don't have him in my exacta, but I do believe that we're going to see a nice go from Narmer today.
Pricey yearling, $525,000 they paid for this son of American Pharaoh. As we move to race 3, race 3 is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races, or straight 3-year-old fillies. And we're going to start with our top pick in this spot, and that is a 4, me, Cleopatra, and I. This is Keith Fusel's single on his early pick 4. This one's dropping from the 10,000. He has superior figures, honestly, at the end of the day, over the rest of the field. She's a 5-time winner. She's a 3-year-old, so she's eligible for this race. And if she can get back to any one of those races, that'd be good enough here.
And when she did go to those races, it was early. She had an early stake in it right away. These last two, she just wasn't able to get away very cleanly. Carol, no problem, gonna have no issue getting me Cleopatra and I on the. Supposedly on the lead for today, and I think that just sits and ties up really nicely with a bow for the Kieran McGee stable.
The 5 is Supreme Blessing. We both have her in our exacta. She's had 2 productive races at this level, going 7/8 of a mile. That's what she gets to run today. Beaten 3 lengths in her last start behind Sacred Lady. Sacred Lady ran yesterday and just ran okay. Just ran okay, but a win in that 2 lifetime nickel race the race before.
Coming from the Tim Keefe barn, I know that she has been training fantastic, and on top of that, I like the cut back to the 6 for this filly today. We're back at 7, excuse me, but I don't mind the distance for her. But all I know is that she is training well enough, and I think we're going to get to see another nice performance out of her today.
A little inside info from Callie Francois. The 7 is Coral Summer for Ricardo D'Angelo. Taila Pastina gets the call, and we're going to look at her last race. It was October 22nd here at Laurel Park, where she did eventually get the win, but she didn't get away the best.
No, she just that was a rough go for her, and she is the type of filly. She falls to her knees, but what I like is that she was able to somehow she was still able to get up there, and she did it all very smoothly, and she was just able to turn around. She had a nice opening on the rail, which I did think benefit her a little bit in that saving ground. Now, I know it's not too much because the field didn't span out that much, but I think being able to come off of that performance after a stumble like that, you've got to give her the green light that she's going to be okay next time out.
No doubt about it. I mean, horses sometimes that just wrecks the whole rhythm of the race, and she held in there gamely, moved right up there without a problem. Stalked off the leaders a little bit and came with a good finish up the fence for Thais Liapostino. Winner of 2 of her last 4, and very good going 7/8 of a mile with 2 starts, a win, and a third. We'll move to race 4. Race 4 kicks off the Rainbow Pick 6. We have a little bit of a carryover from yesterday's card. I think it's like 3,900. $3,940. The Rainbow Pick 6 gets started in race 4. Callie, you put together a ticket. How does it look?
It looks just like this, Tim. I go 3 deep in races 4 and 5, starting in race 4 with the 1, 2, 3, and 5. I go 5, 8, and the 10. Race 6, I single in on Marvella Nasty. I think that is her race to win, coming out of another Kieran McGee running barn. Race 7, I go 4 deep with the 1, the 4, 11, and 12. Race 8, I triple it with the 5, the 7, and the 10, and I double down for the nightcap of the day in race 9 with the 1, the 5, a nice little $43.20 ticket to get you started.
Certainly an affordable ticket. You can spread your money out a little bit over that early pick 4 and the Rainbow pick 6. Race 4 is a 9 is a 2 lifetime event, claiming price $10,000, going 5.5 furlongs for 3-year-olds and upward. And we're going to start with our top pick in this spot, and that's the 1 Big Tall Dog. Jamie Rodriguez arrives for Stacy Henry. This one comes in from Delaware, where she's been in pretty good form since returning to the races in July. She might be getting some relief here, which I think is kind of important in that move from Delaware to Laurel, because we've seen some of these horses not run back to their numbers, except for the Gary Capuano horses. I want to say that.
The Gary Capuano horses.
So I think this is a great move into the 2 for 10 if you want to win a race.
Absolutely. I mean, if you go 2 races back, she just is able. She is a front running. He is a front running gelding. So he likes things a little bit his way. I just don't think he got something happened in the beginning. He didn't get his way. He didn't get the trip. He just doesn't have much to offer as far as turn of foot and pace play. So coming out of that 1 hole, going 5.5, Jamie Rodriguez will have no problem sending. And again, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Tim. I think this is a great move, especially coming from Delaware, since I agree with you. I don't think the numbers have been as strong coming back here to Laurel Park, with the exception of Gary Capuano.
And if she can run back to those figures from Delaware, she's probably going straight to the winner's circle. 9 to 5 on the morning line. The 3 is Bell Mullet for Mark Reed. This one drops and gets back to the main track. Recent races on the turf have been pretty good, certainly against tougher. If he can convert those races, he may be okay here.
And I think he runs nearly the exact same, maybe a touch better on the turf than he does on the turf. On the dirt. I'm going back all the way back in the books to September 19th at Laurel, going 5.5 at that maiden 25. Ran a nice third, and then ran an okay fourth, going 5.5 on the dirt at Laurel on November of last year. So I think this horse doesn't quite need to be so tagged as a turf horse. And then you do have Mark Reed, who is, as of recent, 25% doing that turf to dirt route, and then he's 23% first after the layoff.
5 works since that last race on September 8th, and getting to the lowest level of his career. That is the 3 Bell Mullet, 7-2 on the morning line. We have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll talk about the late pick 5. Welcome back to Today at the Races. Tim Tulloch, joined by Callie Francois. We're going to be with everybody all afternoon. You get this is what you get on these big weekends. This is what you get, but it's not all bad. Race 5 kicks off the late pick 5, as always, industry low. 12% takeout, 50-cent minimum, no carryover from yesterday's card. And race 5 is for maiden 2-year-olds going a 1 mile. $25,000 maiden claiming event. We're going to start with the 5. This is Accelerator for Jamie Ness. Jamie Rodriguez gets the call. This one you have on top. I use at the bottom of my ticket, but comes in as has what most of the others don't, route experience in this race. Certainly has some route experience. Last 2 races going a mile 70 on the grass, and then a mile on 70 on mile 16th on the grass, and a mile 70 on the main track were decent efforts at this level up at Delaware.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm going off of, Tim. And then I'm adding to that with the fact that it's a 1-turn mile here at Laurel. So that he's, even at Delaware, it's a 2-turn mile there at Delaware. So this horse has taken some time to develop into this route type of horse. So if Jamie still has him going a route, because if you look back in June, that was 5 furlongs, and he didn't make a bad run at it coming from off the pace. So maybe I think they're trying to give this horse at least one last shot taking a route. He's been okay, and I think he's going to be just fine taking it over here to Laurel.
Well, certainly the figure 2 back is good enough to win here, but that was on the grass, but not bad in that last race, getting beat 5 lengths behind a next out winner in a run on the trail. I have the 2 on top, 110, 5-1 on the morning line. JD Acosta for Jose Corrales. This one's dropping from the maiden 40 to the maiden 25 here this afternoon. Now, he ran a pretty decent race first time out, the maiden special weight level. That was back in September. He only got beat 5 lengths. He finished in the middle of it. But I think he's got a good draw. I think he's going to be showing pretty early, couple work since. With J.D. Acosta, if he decides to go to the front, he could take this field a long way.
And he could. And I know J.D. Acosta and Corrales always do well together. And if you do, you take that maiden special weight at 6. My only issue is that I left him off of my ticket because the barn isn't super strong at that sprint to route factor. So I thought about putting this horse on my ticket. I was on and off. So, but I'm just doing a wait and see kind of approach. Hopefully for the better with 110.
I get it. Jose Corrales is a little streaky. When he
Correct.
Gets rolling, he'll win some races for you, but they come in little bunches here
yes.
and there. So I certainly understand that. The 8 is Nadagar. I have a lot of interest in this one for Damon Deldovico. Horacio Caramanos gets the call. This one will be stretching out for the first time this afternoon. But his last race was not a bad effort when he absolutely took the worst of it out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't break as quick, and then he just got completely slammed out of the gate. And then he still if you look later on in the race, he still does put in a decent piece of it once he gets up there. As you can see, there is some opening, and Karamanos goes right for it. He still gets that horse up there, but the danger is when you do that kind of move,
That's
as we see right here, there's nothing left in the tank for that horse. So, we were talking about Coral Summer. Coral Summer ended up benefiting, but when we're talking about a second time starter, that's a lot to ask when they stumble and get slammed, or when they get slammed out of the break like that and then rushing him. I think that he left the entire race in the first half of it.
I agree. In his second career race, he ran a nice race, getting beat 3 lengths while running third behind a next out winner in Trust Daddy behind Hard Rock Gold. But yeah, I think this horse is certainly eligible to move forward. Gets a good break, stretching out for Damon, about 16% industry average. Nothing wrong with that. That is the 8 Natigar in race 5 to kick off the late pick 5. We'll move to race number 6. This one comes off the turf. It will be contested at 5.5 furlongs on the main track. This is a claiming 12.5 for fillies and mares. And our top pick in here is the 2, Marvella Nasty for Kieran McGee. Carlos Lopez gets the call. First off the claim. Winner at basically the same level in her last start.
This is her race. I think that this is her race. I singled in on her on my ticket. I think this filly is just even from what I saw last time when she ran. Now, granted, she had the drop, and this is a bit of a lateral move for this filly, but I love the confidence that this filly has gained from that last time out, and I think I think Carlos Lopez is gonna push her a little bit further up in the field than maybe perhaps she's used to, or what she likes. But again, even if he does that with her, I still think she has a lot of confidence to just kind of run with it.
Nice maintenance work on Halloween up there at Pimlico for Kieran McGee. The 5 is Stay Out for Dale Capuano. Jamie Rodriguez gets the call. This one went to Delaware and Charlestown his last 2 starts, and it was fine, just okay. But this horse is very capable here at Laurel Park. Now, he'll be forwardly placed for sure. You look back at some of his races during the winter in February and January of last year, there were big efforts with some good strong figures.
This is his time of year, Tim. This is the weather's cooling down. We're back at Laurel. He was okay with Pimlico, didn't love it. Again, referring back to just those recent 2 starts at Delaware and Charlestown, just okay. But again, I think you bring up an excellent point that he does love Laurel. We're back in the cooler weather that he loves, because that's when he won last time. And then Dale Capuano, he's had 5 runners and 1 win from that Charlestown to Laurel move as of late in the last couple of months.
We're both on the 2, Marvella Nasty in race number 6. We'll move to race 7 in a minute, but race 7 kicks off the Stronach 5 here this afternoon here at the Laurel Park, Leg A. Our race 7, we'll go through this real quick again. Leg A right here, our race 7. Leg B, Gulfstream Park, their race 8. That's a nice little overnight stake down there at Gulfstream Park. Leg C, right back here at Laurel Park, race 8. We go out to San Francisco for Leg D, Golden Gate Fields, race 4, and then back down to Gulfstream Park for Leg E, their race 10. I put together a ticket for the Stronach 5, and this is how I played it. I'm going to get started with the 1, 2, and 8 right here at Laurel Park. Game Stonks, Unresolved Issues, a horse I really like in race 7, and then toward the outside, the 8, She Is Whiskey. In race 8, in Leg B, which is race 8 at Gulfstream Park, I go 4 deep in this stake. 3, 7, 8, 9 being contested on the Tapeta. A lot of unknowns in this race, so I spread in that race. My single comes in Leg C, which is our race 8, and the single comes on Don't Let Sweet Fool You, coming back in about 6 days. Ran behind a very, very good Moquist in her last start. Race Leg D, which is Golden Gate's race 4. I use the 2 and 10. And then race in Leg E, which is race 10 at Gulfstream Park. I spread there. That's a maiden 12 event. Could go any way of a lot of different directions. 2, 7, 8, and 10, $96 ticket. Good luck if you play along in the Stronach 5. Race 7 is a maiden 40 event, which kicks off the Stronach 5, as we just talked about, going 5.5 furlongs for maiden fillies, 2-year-olds, And you have the one on top, game stalks for Brittany Russell. Javion Toledo gets the call here. Why not? Firsters, firsters for Brittany are very, very tough, especially when they debut at the maiden claiming level, as game stonks is this afternoon, 28%. Working well in the morning, not the best of draws.
Not the best of draws, and I understand that, but I'm taking a chance on the backing of the Brittany Russell and that 23% first-time start maiden claim. And we never talked about that, but a big congratulations to the Russell family, as Brittany just had her baby boy last week. And then going on, it's a little bit uncontested. We've got a Blofeld, which he has yet to get a first-time start winner, and then a first-time start out of the dam, which is Union Rags, which at least Union Rags is sitting at a nice 25% with his first-time starters, 2 out of 8 so far. But going off of that work tab, it's a nice solid work tab, and I'm just gonna put in a little bit of Russell faith in for that one.
Well, look, if someone's going to come over, if a horse is going to come over here and overcome the one hole, it's a Brittany Russell horse. They're always very, very well prepared for their debut race. Javion Toledo rides 3-1 on the board. My top pick in here is the 8. She is Whiskey. I'm going all in on Jose Corrales this afternoon. Kevin Gomez gets the call. Coming back at 5.5 furlongs. Taking a little bit of a class drop to the maiden 40 here this afternoon. Not a bad race behind Towser in last start. I would have liked to see him prepared to take off, come back and run a little bit better yesterday. But her first start was a good effort. She gets beat 2 lengths while running third, 3 good work since.
Let's get into those works for a sec, because what I really like is that October 23rd work going 5 furlongs out of the gate. If somebody can recognize that, after a run, even though the horse has run already, if the horse needs a gate work, the horse needs a gate work. And I think a number of people are hesitant to do that. So I really like what I see there with the number 8. She is Whiskey for the Corrales barn.
Yeah, I was always a believer in, especially after the first start, you might want to take them back to the gate just to remind them how to get away. If they had a little bit of a bad experience, they got pinched or anything like that, take them back there so they have confidence once they get back there. Speaking of horses that got pinched, I have a lot of interest in the 2 unresolved issues for Mike Trombetta. We know Mike won his 2000th career race yesterday, and we've seen it with Claudio Gonzalez to some other trainers. It takes them a while to get to those milestones. Then after they get to those milestones, they run off with
right
with
to the
the
next
bridle.
one.
They run off on the bridle. Like, this is a horse who got pinched his last start. We're going to take a look at this video. This was from October 14th, and absolutely got pinched coming out of there in a big field. Drops back to last. From there. Now, tries to make a little bit of a run. We're going to pick this up at the half-mile pole. Makes a little bit of a run. We're going to pick it up from the half-mile pole to about the quarter pole where who was on it? Carol Cedeno, who returns today. Tries to make a little bit of run there, but again, flattens out in the end. But I just feel like a good break could change everything for unresolved issues.
Yeah, I noticed that Carol actually gave her a nice couple of hits just to waken this filly up after that just horrendous break first time out. And I agree with you, Tim. I think this filly got this. You see her, she just got dirt in her face, and she just wasn't having it. So you see, Carol goes. Just before we faded, Carol went a little wide to get some clearance into this filly. But again, I agree with you. I think if unresolved issues, it gets out of the gate, a very good play for this filly.
Well, she certainly didn't like running into the dirt. You could see her throwing her head a little bit there going in a turn. So if she can break and if she has some speed, and it appears she's got a little gas out of the gate, you have 48 and change on October 7th, that could change everything for unresolved issues in today's 7th race. Race 8 is a 3-other-than allowance race. This one comes off the grass. It will be run 3/4 of a mile on the main track. And we have the 7, Don't Let Sweet Fool You, on top here. So for fillies and mares, she came back off of a layoff, going 7/8 of a mile. Always a tough thing to do, coming off the layoff, going 7/8 of a mile. Ran into the undefeated filly, Moquist, but she ran really, really well that day. Turns back to 3/4 of a mile here this afternoon and gets a fast track.
Watching that race, I was starting to get a little excited because I'm a big fan of this filly in general. But to see her put in that type of effort, as you said, 7 furlongs, she's a bit more of a sprinter. She's that 5.5, 6 furlong type of filly. So that was a big ask of her running against that type of horse. And that horse was just second best. But what I did love is that she held off other horses that were coming up to her. And that's what I really wanted to note. And then you have Lacey Gaudette, who's doing great second after the layoff. Out of 28 samples of this, 7 wins, 4 seconds, and 2/3, 25%. That's not bad at all.
And this filly has been keeping some good company before she went away. Chub Wagon, Hello Beautiful, Hibiscus Punch, who she beat before the Barbara Fritchie, Elorella, some nice horses. Tell me the Blues on Sunday. I mean, some nice horses. There's none of those types in here. I think it's all Don't Let Sweet Fool You.
Agreed.
In race 8 today. Race 9 and the nightcap. This is a maiden 10 event going 3/4 of a mile. And take out the 3 beach days in this race, and that was my top pick. So change everything up a little bit. I end up, and you end up, on the 5, Hit a Homer Honey for Jamie Ness. Blinkers goes on, returns to this level, basically off that last race where she ran all right.
So, looking at this filly's just career so far, she hasn't been the quickest out of the gate. She's been coming at it from behind a little bit, and then these last couple of starts, they've kind of put her out there a little bit, and she's starting to become engaged a little bit early. Now I think she just needs this extra help with the blinkers on, and Jamie's okay with it. He's currently at 15% with that blinkers on move as of late. 6 wins out of 41 samples, but it's 10 seconds and it's 3/8. So I think the move is the right move with the blinkers on, and I'm just really intrigued by that, which is why I have Hit a Homer Honey on top.
The 1 Bantam Rooster for Robbie Bales, first-time starter, having to break from the fence. Robbie pretty good with his first-time starters, about 18%. And look, this one's been working well. I mean, well, and is well entered. A 3/4 mile work, 1:15, sharp 3/8 on November 1st, 36 and change. It's going to be all about the break for Bantam Rooster.
All about the break, but what I do love is that 36 and 8 sharp work just to keep this horse snappy enough. Has the bottom on it, but since we're coming out of that one hole, the dam's other runner still has yet to make a win yet, so this would be the first winner for this dam. But again, coming out of that one hole, you want a sharp mind, and I do love that 3-furlong workout.
That is the 1 Bantam Rooster in the nightcap. That's going to do it for today's card. We've got some other stuff to get to. We're going to take a quick look at our lightning round. Well, we've got some big stakes coming up on 2 weekends this November, and the first one is on November 13th. 3 stakes worth $300,000 in purses. We've got the 38 Go-Go. This is a match series race, $100,000 guaranteed. The James F. Lewis on November 13th, $100,000 guarantee for 2-year-olds going 3/4 of a mile, and the Smart Halo for 2-year-old fillies going 3/4 of a mile. That is on November 13th. Nominations closed on October 30th. Those nominations are out if you want to go check out and see who's nominated for our big stakes weekend coming up on November 13th. Today, we talked about it earlier, the early pick 4. We've got a great offer here this afternoon, $10 refund on the early pick 4. You bet 10 or more dollars, you get 10 back. If you bet under $10, you get what you bet back. So you spread a little bit. This is just free money.
Free money, free play money. And yep.
Kind of like Monopoly.
Kind of like Monopoly, and if you're talking about these pick 4 tickets, it's about if you're basing it off of what we've done and the type of tickets that Keith's done, that's an extra third of the ticket.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So go ahead. You can spend a little bit more money today. You're going to get 10 of it back. So good luck in the early pick 4. Make sure you check out Keith Fusel's ticket. We'll talk about it a little bit this afternoon before the second race, but if you go to laurelpark.com, you can see all of our tickets. Just hit daily picks, and they will appear for you. Stronach 5, as we talked about earlier, we'll touch on it real quick again, starts right here. Our race 7 as leg A, about 3:50 this afternoon. Leg B, Gulfstream Park. Leg C, back at Laurel. Lake D Golden Gate Fields out there in San Francisco, and Lake E Gulfstream Park. Again, you can check out my ticket at laurelpark.com. Well, we had a milestone win yesterday, Callie. Mike Trombetta gets his 2,000th career win with Mr. Jefferson, but not only does that, he gets the exacta.
He gets one, too, with Mr. Jefferson and Bold Leader. Bold Leader was the projected favorite in that race, with Mr. Jefferson making it a nice finish up the rail. And just what a great accomplishment for a great barn. Mike Trombetta, just a solid man, just a solid guy.
He's a solid guy, and I got a minute to catch up with Mike, and this is what he had to say about that milestone win.
Joined by Mike Trombetta in the winner's circle. Mike, you pick up career win number 2,000 here today at Laurel. You do it in style. You get the exacta. Your thoughts on this milestone event?
It's really, really cool. I didn't expect to be 1-2 in the race by any means. I was hoping just to hit the board, honestly, but it was nice to, get this kind of result. I was hoping it happened this year by the way things were going. So, it was all good. I have a horse and a stake in New York tomorrow I'm real excited about. He broke his maiden here, so maybe we can get started with the number 1 tomorrow.
And Mike Trombetta all over the place. Not only does he have that horse in the stake in New York, he's got one in the stake in Florida, which is part of the Stronach 5. But just the consummate professional, does a really, really nice job, has a very, very nice client list to work for him. So it was good to see him get that win.
It was good to see him get the win. I just know he's always somebody, just as a rider, that I've always had a great relationship with him, and he's always had some great advice for me. He just is, he's an all-around great guy to everybody. He treats everybody very fairly.
And congratulations to Mike and all his team on that big win. That is going to do it for Callie and myself. We will be back later this afternoon. You'll get a little tired of us by the end, but we'll try to keep it lively. Dave Rodman will be up with scratches and changes next. Good luck.